Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Okay, and here we go. Like I said I was going to do in my last video, now I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars series on Disney Plus. So if you've seen some of my past videos where I've talked about Star Wars, I have said a lot of times how ever since Disney has acquired Star Wars, I just really haven't been interested in anything they've been putting out. Like I said before, how I was just totally against the sequel trilogy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like the films that they are doing now are really just making Star Wars feel really forced upon us, especially with that sequel trilogy. Because I mean, was that really something anybody was asking for? Was anybody really that curious to actually see what did happen 30 years after Return of the Jedi? So as I've said before, I have just really been against these new movies that they're putting out in particular. Yeah, yeah, and ever since Disney Plus has been out, they've also now been putting some new live action Star Wars series on Disney Plus, like they've been doing with the Marvel shows. Yeah, so they've been having they've released shows so far, the Mandalorian, of course. There's that is it called the Book of Boba Fett? Yeah, so they're putting out some new live action Star Wars shows now. Yeah, and the shows that they're putting out now, I really don't mind those as much as I do the movies, but yeah, I'm still just really not interested in these the shows that they've been putting out. Like Mandalorian is also set after Return of the Jedi, and it's just not something that I am really interested in. Really, just the last Star Wars thing that I want to see in the timeline, the actual last Star Wars thing that I want to remember is the celebration at the end of Return of the Jedi. That's like that's the finale of Star Wars that I really do want to remember. I really don't want to actually know anything afterwards. I don't want to see anything that happens afterwards. Just Return of the Jedi ended on a perfect note, and that was really the perfect finale for Star Wars and the timeline. Yeah. So I'm just really not interested in these series that they're doing now with the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and stuff. But I have said before that the only Star Wars project that I would actually like to see is some of course a project that is actually set around Obi-Wan between episodes 3 and episode 4, showing his life in exile on Tatooine. So yeah, I did say before how a lot of people I really was interested in seeing an Obi-Wan movie set between the time. Yeah, and it's been oh something that a lot of people that want to see. Yeah, probably the most desired new Star Wars project. But rather than making it into a movie, they decided to make it a show. Yeah, so of course as you can probably guess, this is really the only Star Wars project that Disney has made that I am actually interested in. Yeah, so this was really the only thing, the only Star Wars show on Disney Plus that I was actually looking forward to. Yeah. So and the series was just released a couple months ago. It was the first two episodes were released on May 27th. So that was only just a couple months ago. Yeah, and they had been releasing the episodes every week, and and this ended up having a six episodes, with the sixth one just being released about a month ago on June 22nd. Yeah, so it's really just a six episode miniseries. Yeah, I don't know if they actually are going to continue this. I don't know if they're going to make a second season or what, but yeah, as of right now, it's just labeled as a mini series. Yeah, yeah, and and how did I actually feel about this series? Well, I actually got to say that I did overall enjoy the series. Now, I will say, this was admittedly not really what, I actually did see this being as. As like the way that I would actually have seen this series series like I was just like kind of like hoping to see like some different stuff than actually what the series did give us. Now that's not to say that this like was a bad series. Like it wasn't a bad series by any means, but just yeah, like in my mind, I was just kind of expecting like a something different to be done with this series. Like I was really like sort of just expecting the series to really be about like just Obi-Wan's life on Tatooine and exile after like leaving Luke with Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Yeah, and I was just really thinking like this series was just gonna be like about like his him living in exile on Tatooine and watching over Luke. Yeah, and like we did kind of like get that like at the beginning of this series. Like the series like did like start off like the first episode did show that like he was like living on Tatooine, like keeping in a watch over Luke. But yeah, like the series really didn't like a focus all around that. Like the series really did like just like focus on something else rather than just Obi-Wan just like living in exile on Tatooine watching over Luke the whole time. Yeah. What this series really was about is like it does show how like some inquisitors are actually trying to find like the remaining Jedi to destroy them. Yeah. Yeah. And then like another Jedi tries to enlist the help of Obi-Wan, but it shows now that Obi-Wan really like due to living in exile because yeah, this series like does take place it's at 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, so Obi-Wan has been living in exile for 10 years now. And it shows that like Obi-Wan like has really now like lost his connection with the Force. So yeah, so he really doesn't have any like the Force powers anymore, and he doesn't like have his lightsaber or anything. Yeah. So yeah, so he really is just like living a solitary life now. Yeah, and of course like he is now like going under the alias of Ben. Yeah. And of course, like yeah, Ewan McGregor like did reprise the role of Obi-Wan in the show. So yeah, so that was something that I'm sure everybody was happy about. Like even Ewan McGregor said himself that like if they ever did do like an Obi-Wan movie, that like he would totally be up for reprising the role. Yeah. And he did reprise the role in the series. So yeah, so it was good to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan. Yeah. And in the series, like we also do have like some other of the actors reprising their roles from the prequels. Yeah. And speaking of which, what I did think that was kind of cool was that, like, as the series began, like at the start of the very first episode, it did show like kind of like some highlights, like and just kind of like recapping events from the prequels. Equals. So yeah, so I did think it was kind of cool that they really did like have that recap, just kind of and just remind people of like what happened because yeah, I'm sure that there are some people that probably like knowing that the reception that like the prequels like did get like there were, of course were like people that have hated on them even though like they were good movies. Yeah, like the prequel haters out there and they probably haven't seen them in a while. And even like for some newcomers that probably haven't even watched the prequels. Yeah, it was kind of cool that they like did like start off the series. You like kind of like having just that recap of the events of the prequels. So that was pretty cool to see. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, getting back to this, yeah. Another Jedi does like try to enlist Obi-Wan's help, but Obi-Wan really just like refuses. Uses, yeah. Yeah. And then yeah. So it shows that like Obi-Wan really is just like initially just like reluctant to help any of the remaining Jedi, yeah. But then after shows that one of one of the members of like this Jedi Inquisitor group Riva, it shows that she is determined to actually like obsessed with finding Obi-Wan, but the Grand Inquisitor her is like really just like believing Obi-Wan to be dead and ordered her to just like stop focusing on Obi-Wan. So yeah, so she did like initially listen, but then like told that like she hired a bounty hunter to actually go to Alderaan and kidnap Princess Leia to lure Obi-Wan. Yeah. So yeah, so in this series, like we do see Leia as a young child. She's only like 10 years old here. Yeah. Yeah. So of course, like she is played by like a young girl in this show. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't know how to feel about them actually like including Leia in this show because I mean, was anybody really clamoring for like Obi Wan to really do anything with Leia? I mean, it's Luke that the like Obi Wan is really watching after. So I really do feel that people really are more interested in seeing Obi Wan be like watching over Luke. Like they could have done something like with Obi Wan reacting with Luke, yeah. But instead they go with Leia. So I don't know. I don't know really know how to feel about that. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, like I said, like at the start of the series, it does show Obi Wan is like watching after Luke. Yeah, yeah. But it shows that like Owen really does not like Obi Wan like watching over Luke, and he really just like wants Obi Wan to let Luke live a normal life. Yeah, and in this series, it did have Joel Edgerton actually reprising the role of Owen from episodes 2 and 3, as well as Bonnie P.S. reprising her role as Beru in episodes 2 and 3. So yeah, so it was interesting that they were actually able to get them back to reprise their roles in the series. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so like I said, just yeah, like yeah, this series like admittedly it does start off pretty slow. Like I said, just like the with the first episode, it really like it starts off showing like Obi Wan's life and watching over Luke, but then it like takes that shift to like the bounty. Well, yeah, these like Inquisitors like tracking down the missing Jedi to destroy them. Yeah, yeah, and with them kidnapping Leia and stuff. So yeah, so the first couple episodes are immediately like pretty slow, but then it does start to pick up in the third episode. Yeah, so yeah, it does show like that Obi Wan is eventually like was able to find Leia and rescue her. Yeah, and it showed like how Reva was after him, yeah. And then eventually, like, Reva then revealed to Obi Wan that Anakin was alive because, yeah, it shows that, like, in the series, like, Obi Wan is still, like, suffering from nightmares about, like, what happened to Anakin and, like, just some of the other events in the prequels, yeah. And of course, like, Obi Wan, like, after what happened to Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, Obi Wan did believe Anakin to be dead, but then Reva then revealed to him that Anakin was alive, yeah. Yeah. Then at the very end of the second episode, then we did see, like Anakin, like of course now as Darth Vader, it shows that he's awakening in a bacta tank. So I really like what exactly was like that about? Like why was he even like in a bacta tank? Like was he just like in that the whole time until like eventually like he learned of Obi Wan's location or something? I don't know. Yeah, because yeah, it did show like at the end of Revenge of the Sith, like he was put in the Darth Vader suit and he was like among the Star Destroyers with like the Emperor and the other Imperial officers, showing the construction of the Death Star. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know like what he's doing here in a bacta tank. Yeah, yeah. But then yeah, like I said, it does pick up in the third episode. It shows how like Darth Vader like is like having is like has his own fortress on the Mustafar system, and he just instructed Reva to find Obi Wan, and he would promote her to Grand Inquisitor. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, then eventually, like yeah, Obi Wan and Leia are then discovered like trying to hitch a ride on an Imperial transport, but then yeah, then as the stormtroopers are like sent to capture them, they eventually end up like receiving help from an Imperial officer who's a member of the Path named Tala. Yeah, yeah, but then yeah, then like as they then had a secret subterranean passageway, a then like it showed Vader and the Inquisitors arrived, and then eventually, then Obi Wan and then like had a standoff with a Darth Vader. Yeah, yeah, and it showed like how at first Obi-Wan didn't want to fight him, but then eventually then they then like had like a lightsaber duel, and Darth Vader was overpowering Obi-Wan with like his force choke, and then like he caused a fire, and then just had Obi-Wan burn, like pretty much just like trying to put him through the same pain that he went through. Yeah, yeah, but then yeah, Tala was able to save Obi Wan, but Leia ended up getting captured by Reva. Yeah, so that is admittedly something that I do actually like about these Disney projects, like sort of Star Wars, like the way that they're actually displaying Darth Vader, because yeah, like they've been actually showing like how powerful he really has become. Like of course, there was that scene like at the end of Rogue One where he had to stand up with the rebel troops and he was just like easily disposing of them like with no effort, like just like throwing them all around and choking them and everything. Yeah, and we see it here how he's just like very easily able to overpower Obi-Wan. So yeah, so I actually do like how we are actually seeing now like how powerful he really is now. Because yeah, in the original trilogy we don't really like see much of like how powerful he really is. Like pretty much like everything a lot of the stuff that he does in the original trilogy, he's really just toying with others. Like how he's just like pretty much like showing no effort in the first lightsaber duel with Luke, and just like how he's like force choking everybody. Like yeah, just we really don't like actually see like anything like showing how powerful he really is. Like maybe there is that scene like in episode 4, like at the beginning where he is like choking Captain Antilles, but yeah, that's just like really a display of strength. It's not really like showing like how powerful he truly is. Yeah, and now we actually are getting that with like when we do see him in Rogue One and in this series too. So yeah, so that is admittedly something that I do like about these like uh Disney Star Wars projects, is that they are now displaying and how powerful Darth Vader really is now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then then in the next episode, it does show like how um Leia, of course, was captured by Reva, and she was now being held in the Inquisitorius Fortress, this which is the headquarters of the Inquisitors on Nur, and like she's like being interrogated for details on the path, but yeah, like Leia was like refusing to speak, and then Obi-Wan and Tala then eventually infiltrated the Force to find Leia. Yeah, but then yeah, then eventually then like Obi-Wan ended up like discovering a trophy vault that was filled with preserved corpses of Jedi who were captured and killed, which included a youngling. Yeah, 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 and then yeah, then eventually then Leia ended up being rescued, yeah, and then yeah, then at first like they appeared to end up being captured, but then they were actually able to escape from uh, Broken, who's a path commander, as well as the guerrilla troops. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, then it showed how Vader like was attempting to kill Reva for her failure, but then when it showed like she revealed that she actually did attach a tracker to Leia's companion droid Lola. Vader then decided to spare her life. Yeah, and I guess I should probably also mention that like when we do foresee Leia in this show, it shows how she's not really interested in really becoming a senator, like of course her father Bail Organa. Yeah, and also like in the series, we do like see like Jimmy Smits reprising his role as Bail Organa from episodes 2 and 3. So yeah, so like I said, I do think that it is nice that they did bring back some of the actors to reprise their roles from the prequels in this show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then in the next episode, then this is where like we do like see some interesting stuff. Like it shows how like Vader is like he like keeps having like these daydreams about like the training he had with Obi-Wan, and we do kind of like see like some like stuff where like it shows how Anakin was like training with Obi-Wan like around the time of Attack of the Clones, yeah, and it actually was like Hayden Christensen reprising the role as Anakin. So yeah, so it was cool to see Hayden Christensen back. I don't know if he actually did also was Darth Vader in this show. I don't know if like he was actually like inside the suit like he was at the end of Revenge of the Sith, but yeah, it's cool to see Hayden Christensen back. I know that he really does get like crapped on a lot for his performance, but come on, he was good. Like, yeah, his dialogue may have been corny, but yeah, when you do look at his face, like the hatred and the anger that he had in his face, like he really could look like really like menacing. So yeah, so when he's not like giving some corny dialogue, just his facial expressions are really good. So yeah, so Hayden Christensen was good as Anakin, so he really doesn't deserve the hate that he's gotten. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it just show how like Vader was just like reflecting on like that lightsaber training with Obi-Wan. Yeah, yeah, and then like we just see like some of that reflection throughout this episode. Yeah, yeah, then eventually Riva then got promoted to Grand Inquisitor, and then she then led a siege on the path facility and deactivated the escape doors, and eventually, then Obi Wan then started to negotiate with Riva. Then yeah, then like he deduced that like Riva did like know Vader's true identity because it did like it was revealed that she was actually like part of the younglings that did actually witness the massacre at the Jedi Temple. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, then it was then revealed that like Riva is really just like setting this whole thing up, and she wanted to gain Vader's favor to actually kill him for revenge for what he did. Yeah, yeah. But then yeah, then eventually the facility ended up being breached. But yeah, Tala ended up like sacrificing herself to save Obi Wan. Yeah, yeah. Then eventually, then when Obi Wan then just realized that they were just outnumbered and they weren't able to win, then he just surrendered to the Inquisitors, and then was brought to Riva. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, then at that point, then Obi Wan then was able to convince Riva to kill Vader after delivering Obi Wan to him. But yeah, but then it showed how like uh, Leia eventually did discover the tracker on Lola, and then she ended up removing it and then opened the door, which allowed the path to escape before Vader was able to destroy the facility. And then Reva then like tried to kill Vader, but then like they then like had like Vader then like overpowered her, and yeah, then there was like a little bit of a duel between Reva and Vader, but then eventually Vader then ended up just destroying her. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then the original Grand Inquisitor then arrived and reaffirmed status because yeah, I forgot to mention that like in the that like like I said before, how in the first episode the Grand Inquisitor like made Riva like just stop thinking about like Obi-Wan, like stop her obsession, but then she eventually just ended up like killing him and then assumed the position. But yeah, then yeah, here like it showed that like he was back, and then yeah, yeah, then it showed that that well yeah, I said before how like she was like Reva was destroyed. She wasn't really destroyed. She was just stabbed and left for dead. Yeah, but then then as the Path Network escaped, it showed that like Reva discovered a message from Bail Organa to Obi Wan, and then it revealed Luke's location on Tatooine. Yeah, yeah. Then in the final episode, episode 6, it showed that like Reva like then arrived on Tatooine to look for Luke, as Vader and the Empire were in pursuit of the Path Network. Yeah. Then Obi Wan then had another confrontation with Vader. Yeah, they like had a confrontation on another nearby planet to let the Path escape. Hey, when Obi Wan realized that he's the only one Vader's really after, and then Obi Wan and Vader once again had a duel. Yeah, and then like at one point, like Obi-Wan then throughout the series, I guess I should say, Obi-Wan is like regaining the Force, and then here he's like fully regained the connection to the Force. Yeah, yeah, and then it showed like how he was able to incapacitate Darth Vader and damage his helmet and breathing device. Yeah, and then like as he was trying to like talk to Anakin, then Vader then was just telling Obi-Wan that like he's now embracing his identity as Darth Vader and Anakin is no more. Yeah, and a clever line here was like Obi-Wan saying his friend is truly dead. So yeah, so kind of like a nod to what Luke said in Return of the Jedi about like my father is truly dead. So yeah, so I did think that that was kind of a clever line that they reused here. Yeah. Yeah, but then then like when Obi Wan just realized Anakin like was Vader was basically just like he was no longer Anakin. Obi Wan of course was sad by that, and then he just ended up leaving. Then it showed how like Reva then was of course after Luke, and Owen and Beru were like trying to keep her away to protect Luke, but yeah, she was able to like overpower and subdue them, and then she then like gave chase to Luke in the desert, but then after like it showed that she was about to like destroy him, then she then like remembered about the massacre at the Jedi Temple, and rather than destroying him or anything, she ended up just returning him back to Owen and Beru. And then Obi Wan then like embraced her for overcoming the trauma of her past and now liberating herself from the dark side. Yeah, yeah. Then it showed how like a Vader on Mustafar is now like a like reluctantly decide to abandon the search for Obi-Wan after like the Emperor was like questioning his motives and loyalty. And once again Ian McDermott did reprise the role of the Emperor here. Yeah, and then it showed how like Obi-Wan returned Leia to Alderaan, and uh, Leia now did find new resolve and duties as a princess. As an Obi-Wan like affirmed that he'll help the Organas whenever it's needed, and then and said goodbye to Leia. Yeah, and then once he arrived back on Tatooine, and then and like Obi-Wan like then visited Owen and then resolved the conflict, and he just said that he would let Luke have a normal life. Yeah, but before Obi Wan actually did take off, Owen did allow um, Obi Wan to actually meet Luke. Yeah, so we didn't really see much. It was just Obi Wan walking up to Luke and just saying hello there. Yeah, so we really didn't see much of them, but yeah, I did show that like Obi Wan and Luke did actually meet prior to when we first see them together in A New Hope. So there's been a lot of people over the years that really were like debating on whether or not they did actually meet prior to when we do first see them meet in episode 4 because of like how Luke's saying how he was glad to see him. Yeah, like that was like kind of suggesting that they did meet because yeah, you wouldn't really like say that to somebody you were meeting for the first time. So people were really questioning whether they did actually meet, and yeah, and this now did show that they did, though very briefly. Then and then we the series. Then the episode then did end with a really big moment. It showed how Obi Wan then was now venturing into the desert, and as he was like uh, going on his way, it then did show the the Force spirit ghost of Qui Gon Jinn appearing. So we did finally get like what they were talking about at the end of Revenge of the Sith, with Yoda talking about how Qui Gon returning from the Netherworld and he would teach Obi Wan how to commune with him. Yeah, and here we finally did get the follow up, and we did see Qui Gon's ghost finally with Liam Neeson reprising the role, and surprisingly, he looked exactly the same as he did in the Phantom Menace. I guess like when you die, like your spirit is pretty much like how you looked when you died. I guess that's what this was suggesting. Yeah. Then Qui Gon was just telling Obi-Wan that he'd been there uh, all along. He just like wasn't ready to see him. Yeah. And then Qui-Gon was just telling him to come on, that we still have a what they still have a ways to go. And then it showed how Obi-Wan then was just like continuing to ride off, and Qui-Gon's ghost fading away. Yeah. And that's how the last episode ended. Yeah. So I am glad that we did finally get to see Obi-Wan commune with Qui-Gon's ghost. That was something that I was wanting to see from the series. I really did want to see him finally commune with Qui-Gon's ghost, and we did finally get it. Yeah. So like I said, like this series, like it wasn't really like what I really was like expecting it to be. Like it really doesn't really focus on just Obi-Wan's like life in exile, watching over Luke. Like it really is more in depth with like him, like like finding the ways of the Force again, and having the confrontations with Darth Vader and all that stuff. Like yeah, so so it was kind of different, but it didn't make it bad. Like it was still like interesting to see, like with him actually coming face to face with Darth Vader, and just like it was interesting to really see how like he really didn't like lost the ways of the Force, and he's getting them back throughout this series. Yeah, and and of course like the ending with finally seeing Qui Gon's ghost appear, like that was just great to see. So this series still did give us like a lot of moments that were really great, and stuff that people are probably going to remember after watching it. So overall, I did like the series. Yeah. And the question that I am asking now is like, are they going to continue the series? Is this series going to get a second season? Because I feel that there's still like some more that we could actually see from this, or could this even like actually like continue on toward like a an actual Obi-Wan movie? Kind of similar to like how these Marvel shows are like, each one is kind of like in connection with a movie. Yeah, I mean, could this like lead to the same thing? Have like an Obi-Wan movie somewhere down the line, continuing on with the events where we do see more of Obi-Wan actually communing with Qui-Gon's ghost, and maybe like even though like Luke is leading a normal life that Obi-Wan wanted, maybe like he could still like be watching over him, and maybe even see something with like maybe like a Luke maybe getting kidnapped and forced into slavery, and Obi-Wan going to save him, and maybe like we do like see like the start of like Obi-Wan seeing like some like powers of the Force in Luke. Yeah, like Luke showing some like early Force capabilities, even something like that. Like, and maybe even like see something with like Obi-Wan fighting a crate dragon. Like I've heard like some people saying that that is something they actually do want to see, because of course like when we do see like when in A New Hope, when I mean not Obi-Wan, C-3PO and R2 first land on Tatooine in the escape pod, it does show at one point how C-3PO is seemingly walking past like skeletal remains of a crate dragon. Like, could we actually I mean, could we actually see something where like Obi-Wan is fighting a crate dragon and killing it, and that is like the remains of the crate dragon that C-3PO actually did walk by? So I do feel that there is still like some more that we could actually see from this series. So I don't know if like they will continue the series, or if they'll do a movie, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, still I did like the series, and I would say that overall it did deliver. Like it did give some good fan service with like seeing some of the actors reprising their roles from the prequels, yeah, and just like seeing some stuff how there is like some connections to it to some other Star Wars projects. So overall, I would give the series a pass, and if you haven't seen it, I would give it a recommendation. All right. So I guess that's the best way I can talk about it. All right. So those are my thoughts on the Obi-Wan series. So I hope you guys did enjoy what I had to say about the series. Let me know what you thought about the series. Comment on my channel and tell me. Yeah, and now of course we do have a SummerSlam coming up in less than 2 weeks now. Yeah. So of course, like in honor of SummerSlam, look, like this year they're having SummerSlam in July rather than August for some reason. This is going to be the first time that SummerSlam isn't in the month of August. Yeah, but yeah, with SummerSlam coming up, like uh, coming up, like as I have usually been doing for the last few years, like sometime during the week of SummerSlam, I will actually like make a retro SummerSlam review, and maybe also a another retro Bash at the Beach review as well. Yeah, so I got those that will probably be coming up like sometime during the week of SummerSlam. Yeah, but before I actually do those, like there is like something else that I really do want to. Do so yeah so up next I am going to be making a video about something that I do feel is like kind of interesting for me to do. All right, so yeah, so I'm gonna have like that coming up next. I'm not actually gonna say what it is here, but yeah, it's just something that I've been thinking about lately that I do think is an interesting thing to make a video about. So yeah, so that's gonna be coming up next. Yeah, all right, but yeah, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.